I'm creating this video to provide an update on my funding journey, and I officially passed the phase 1 of a 50k challenge with funding pips. Again, neither did I pass it in a day, nor in just one or two trades like most traders you see on YouTube. It took me 1.5 months and 10 to 15 trades to pass this entire challenge. My equity curve, as you've imagined, to be smoothly upwards right from the beginning was not the case at all. Instead, I started with a negative equity curve and my account went to the lowest of 6%, where people would consider it to be a failed challenge, and I recovered my account from there on to ultimately passing this challenge. So before going to the lessons that I learned throughout this challenge, let's head to the account dashboard so that you can see the stats of my phase 1 on the Funding Pips website
So as you
itself.
can see, this over here is my account dashboard of the 50k challenge with funding pips. And equity card looks more of a roller coaster. We started with $50,000 and immediately went to 47 to 93, so almost $47,000. At this point of time, I was at the lowest where I lost 6% of the amount. And then after that, we had a good recovery. We got back to break even. A few more profits. I was at 4% profits when I had a big loss and I came back to almost break even. And then after that, I had another trade which hit my take profit, which took me back to 5% profit. And the last trade helped me to get back to 8% and be done with the challenge. As you can see over here, 8%, $54,000. And I received my phase 2 credentials in just one day of passing this challenge. We started this challenge on 23rd April and completed it on 6th of June. So almost 1.5 months. And now if we scroll down, as you can see, my average win is always bigger than my average loss. So my average win is $441 and my average loss is $362. My win rate for this account is 54.76% and the profit factor is 1.48%. Now if we scroll down, as you can see, most of my profitable trades were on gold. I made almost $6,000 from gold itself. GU was more of a losing pair for me, and every other pair I kind of lost. Gold was the most profitable one. So naturally, I had the highest volume on gold, as you can see over here. Most of my profitable trades were during the London session, 9:30 over here, 16:30 London session, and 17:30 London New York crossover, which is when I trade most often. And now if we go back to the calendar and go back to April, this is where we started. I risked 2% in here, but lost 2.5% because of slippage. Then the very next day, I lost another trade. And after 24th of April, I did not take any trades in the month of April. Now coming back to May, again, I lost 2.5% over here. And then I lost my fourth trade as well, $637. And this is where I was at 6% loss. And after that, we made some profits here and there. May we recovered back to break even. And June, as you can see over here, this week was the one that helped us to pass this challenge. So now that you saw my dashboard, let's get back to the video.
The very first lesson and the most important one, without which I would not have passed this challenge, is to stick to your strategy no matter the short-term results. For example, I started this challenge with 3 consecutive losses, leaving me to minus 6% on the account. Most traders at this point of time start to feel that their strategy sucks and they look for the next holy grail on YouTube. Situation gets even worse because they discarded a strategy that they have been using for months only to start with a new strategy with zero experience. They have no data about the strategy, no backtesting results, and nothing, which leads them to go further in drawdown and ultimately blowing their accounts. So in order to get profitable, you need to display trust in your strategy. Having traded the strategy that I trade right now, I knew by data that the max loss that I can have or the max losing streak that I can have is of 5 trades. So having this data gives you a peace of mind and you're already prepared for the worst case scenario. So please, whenever you go into a losing streak like this, don't just dump your current strategy and look for the next one. Now, none of this is going to matter until and unless you implement the second lesson that I learned throughout this challenge. The second lesson is sound risk management. Let's say I trust my strategy, but what if I risked 4% or 5% on one trade? Would I have passed this challenge? No, I would have failed this challenge in the second or third trade itself. So risk an amount using which you can have a buffer of at least 5 to 6 trades. For me, I started with 2% risk, and after my first 2 losses, I lowered my risk to 1.5%, which is the complete opposite of what most traders do. Most traders, while being in drawdown, increase their risk to get out of the drawdown as soon as possible. Even if you get lucky for first time or the second time, this approach is not sustainable in the long run. So if you don't want to decrease your risk like I did, at least stick to the same risk, but please don't increase your risk, as it is going to do more bad to you than any other good. So these were the two most important lessons that stuck out to me throughout this entire challenge. I will also provide an update on my phase 2 once I get done with that. But for the time being, as you have already seen my account dashboard and everything else, I would love to know what else did you learn from this challenge in the comment section. I'm sure if you follow the 2 lessons provided in this video, you won't have any problem passing your next funding challenge, provided that you have a valid and working strategy. If you don't have one, don't worry, I explained in detail the exact strategy I used to pass this challenge along with a live trade in one of my previous videos. I'll pin that video somewhere on the screen, and we'll catch you guys in there. Till then, take care, bye bye.